Well, welcome everybody to today's Empowered Women's Coaching Call. Today I have one of my dear friends joining me, and I'm so excited we could finally line this up and make this happen. But everyone, this is Chef Cynthia Louise tuning in from Bali. How are you doing? How's the weather? Is it humid and hot over there?
It is actually quite beautiful. We have like a windy, rainy season, and then we have like a hot season. And now we're coming into the kind of hot season because it's actually quite nice, to be honest.
Yeah, beautiful. Awesome. Well, before we get started, I want to touch base on a couple of housekeeping things. First of all, if you haven't joined our Empowered Women's group, you can do that in the link in the description. You can also head over to my YouTube channel to catch up on previous episodes. I get asked often where to start when it comes with personal development, and all of the things that I love, all of the things that have helped me, all of the coaching and mentors in my life, I have been featuring on these episodes, so you can definitely go back and watch those. Before we get started, I want to announce the winner of the competition that I ran last week, and that winner is Keely Jade. So Keely, I'm going to be sending out the super attractive book to you. So if you could please inbox me with your address and I will get this out to you today. I'm going to run this competition again this week. So what I would love you to do in order to win a copy of this book is to help Cynthia and I get the message of health out there by sharing this live, and also taking a screenshot or a little video and tagging us over on your Instagram stories as well, so that we can serve as many people as possible. So Cynthia, how do I know Cynthia? So my gosh, how many years has it been now?
2011.
Oh my God, you have a good memory. I would not have known where to start. So we met because Adam and I used to have 3 health and fitness studios on the Gold Coast, and we met as Cynthia was hosting some incredible cooking classes in our gyms. That's right, isn't it? And at the time, you were the chef at Gwingana.
No, yes, I was. That's right. So
yeah.
I was working a health retreat.
Yeah, which is one of, if you're not from the Gold Coast, it's probably the top health retreat here on the Gold Coast. So Cynthia comes with an absolute world of knowledge when it comes to cooking with real food, and she's taught me so much over the years. She's definitely someone who's inspired me the most on how to really get the most out of, fruits and veggies, and how to combine them and prepare them in a way that is absolutely delicious. She specializes in, vegan and vegetarian, but making it completely satiating, delicious, unbelievable, so that even the most avid meat eater man would totally be happy to sit down at her table. And I think what I love most about you, Cynthia, when it comes to how you inspire and educate, is that you have this beautiful balance of keeping it real. Like, you're real with people. Like, we need to get real people. Like, if you're listening to this, chances are you're an adult and it's time to take responsibility for your health, right? And I love that you keep it real, but you're very understanding about it, and you really know how to meet people where they're at and help them bridge the gap from where they are and where they really need to be when it comes to taking care of their health. So maybe you could just start by sharing how you got into this industry, what you're up to now, because you host a lot of retreats over in Bali, and then we can get into you just delivering your inspiration and passion.
So, growing up in Papua New Guinea for 21 years of my life, being adopted as well, and growing up on a land that's really natural and quite, village-like. And I found myself always down the back of my, the local house or the local boy house or whatever you want to call it, eating real whole food and just being in nature and being able to catch fish and kill food and grow food and make food. And it just really stems from that kind of foundation. And then I found myself, and this is actually a really interesting moment, because I don't normally tell this story, Kira, on this level, but this is an empowered woman's situation right now. I got to a space when I was 35 years old and I had nothing left. I had a failed marriage. My partner at the time became a drug addict. I was completely traumatized and hurt. And I got myself up, and I decided at 35 that I was going to recreate myself, because all my girlfriends said, you're an amazing cook, and I'm going to go do an apprenticeship in a health retreat. And so can you imagine a 35-year-old woman recreating herself on $5 something or other an hour when she's owned businesses. But I knew that I just knew that I needed this. I wanted this uniform. I wanted to be proud of this uniform. I don't want to do a 6-week raw food course or a little thing. I did the apprenticeship. So it kind of, and I landed myself in a health retreat, not knowing what a health retreat was, but it was just so natural and so beautiful that I placed myself there and created the abundance I did. And Quantum Leap, that when we met, I started to, really talk about food and how to put it together and the beauty of it, and to get mums and dads and, especially with mums with children with autism that can't have dairy, and people that are really trying to just not go on a diet and not try and find the superfood or the next wellness industry thing, but really sink into the abundance that we are, which is nature, right? Yeah. And so when we met, I started teaching and consulting around the Gold Coast on special dietaries. And then Quantum Leap, that wrote 3 cookbooks with Dr. Libby Weaver, who's a biochemist, nutritionist, who's an amazing woman. And we've worked together for many, many, many years. And I just, I love her message. And then Quantum Leap, that met Tyler Tolman and facilitating his health retreats. And then Quantum Leap, that I stood in my home in Bali when I moved here and thought, I want to be on TV. Like, I want to be filmed. I have this ability to show up on a camera so well, and I have this thing where I just want to show you how to cook. And so I stood in the end result of that, and boom, I had the money to create a film studio, and I did all the things. And then I wanted to be on FMTV, which are like my heroes. And then boom, they came and found me and said, we're watching you, but we're not ready yet. Hold the line, caller. And so I just felt really, really like, okay, this is what I'm going to do with myself. I'm going to really facilitate anyone's creativity in the kitchen, wherever they're at and whatever they're eating. And so then I've created this amazing online platform, which is cooking classes, where you get to come into my space any time of the day, 24/7, all year long, all your life long, anytime, whatever device, and cook alongside me. And it's just constant happening all the time. And then I've created four beautiful programs, and each program has over 50 recipes in it. And from there, I'm sitting in my studio right now, as you can see. From there, I started to really look into helping people understand the love piece, actually, the empowered piece. And that's something I've lost as well over time. I've lost my empowerment, and I'm back in it. It's like, right, I'm a businesswoman, and I have the ability to actually not just, stretch myself, but to really understand how to, balance that human, balance that person, and just really understand who I am. And sometimes it takes a crisis to get there, right? But
usually does.
I don't know. I know very few people that can do it when they're not in a crisis. But it's true. It takes a crisis. But at the end of the day, I'm in Bali. I'm a partner in a lot of other brands and building cafes globally, as well as partners in other online platforms. And I've got a products out at the moment called My Might, another product potentially coming probably next year. I've also created a health retreat called Nourish, which is a 5-day plant-based cooking retreat. And I go to the beach, and that's pretty much what I do.
Living your best life. Love it. Well, and the other thing that I really love about what you do, Cynthia, and I've seen some of your online cooking stuff, is you just bring it to life. I think people have become so disconnected from what they're eating, where they're sourcing it, so disconnected that it takes all of these flavors and colors and preservatives and, flavorings even in water, because apparently we can't just drink water anymore and enjoy it for the simplicity of what it is. And you just bring so much passion, and it's like you're there in the kitchen with you, like you just light up the screen. And I think it really does just help people reconnect with like plant food and the magic of it, the magic of nature. And like you said, we don't need the next crazy superfood, and we don't need to count calories and all of these things that are just disconnecting us from the peace and simplicity of just eating real food. So our topic today is, health is the new wealth. And I do think that over the years we have become so disconnected from the importance of taking responsibility for our health. We've handed over the the responsibility to others, you know, other caretakers, which obviously we need doctors, we need those things in our lives. But when you hand your power over, that's not a good space to be in. So yeah, I don't know where you want to start with on this topic, but I'm going to hand it to you.
It's so interesting. So you can see behind me, I'm in my studio, right? And you can see the sign up there above me. It says eat. Isn't it this space is absolutely a really beautiful, progressive place of creating food for people out there in the world that can set aside the judgment and the shame and the constant picking that we have in a wellness industry. Because you've got to remember, everybody that's watching, and even me, I'm saying this to me, is this that we pick on our bodies every day. So let's forget the recipe for a minute and forget the ingredients. Because if this is off, everything else is off. Mm-hmm. And we have to be able to, you know, sit in a really great understanding of the 78 organs in the body and how they work. And how do the 78 organs in the body work? Well, they work on a level of intelligence that we have no understanding really mentally, how the pancreas works, how the liver works, how my eyeballs work, how my joints work. We don't understand the flow of energy that goes through my heart valve, through my arteries, to my knees, when I wiggle my toes, what's happening when I wiggle my toes. Why can I do that? Because I'm a human and my brain says so? Well, how can I wiggle them for the rest of my life? And how do I actually sit in this amazing body with the stress and the trauma and the pain and the hurt and the worry that we carry, you know, as anyone, not just women, as anyone. And I really believe that if we can go internally and look in the mirror instead of going, I don't think these jeans fit me, or this doesn't look that great, or I've got this big, you know, I've got this thing here, or a bit of cellulite, or my boobs aren't big enough because, you know, Jamin drank one side and one's kind of lower than the other. And we start to pick and pick and pick and pick and pick and pick. And my entire existence, I've never had that, except for probably about a year ago, I started to look at myself like, oh, your nose is cracked because you had a scooter accident. And I started to pick on the outside and I snapped out of it. It took me a bit actually, but I knew it was happening. And I started to go, I'm going to stand in front of the mirror and look at this amazing body, but I'm going to look internally into it, you know. And when we do that, we respect the 78 organs, we get to a deep understanding that they're an orchestration of intelligence, and then we fall in love with ourselves. Mm-hmm. That's it. The recipe's later. To fall in love with yourself is to really go through all the past traumas and everything that we've been through to bring us where we are today. And this is something I've been working on for the last few weeks, actually. I've been working with a healer on some stuff. And I did some breath work the other day. Actually, I had a healer come out before I went to Africa, I think it was. And I'm absolutely enchanted in what's coming up for me, in behaviours, in how I operate, how people are affected by my behaviours, because we become out of ourselves. Mm-hmm. We start to partner up with someone else, or we start to look at business, and we forget who we really are. I'm a very powerful, strong individual that's intense, but I'm also very loving and very thoughtful and very kind and very forgiving. But I also have that other side of me, that where does that come from? So if I drank the green smoothie and ate the salad and did all the things, it wouldn't mean shit because I'm off here. And so we have to remember that. And that's what we forget. We latch on to the recipe, Kira. We're finding, oh, that recipe will help me, or that ingredients, I've got to eat that way because she said that has more vitamin C in it, or that has a lot of good fat in it. It doesn't work that way. Food and us are in the same boat together when it's in its whole real form. So as close to nature intended it to be, with low human interference. That means us opening the avocado. That means us making the nut butter or buying the nut butter with one ingredient, nuts. You know what I mean? And that's the flow of energy that comes out when you have this incredible idea that you actually are one with all things. When we look at science and nutritional science, which totally has its place, by the way, nutritional science can get in there. Those men and women in those laboratories can dissect a carrot to its nutritional parts. They'll spit one out, say carotene. They'll forget the 1,000 billion other pieces that are in it. They'll shoot it out there in the world into our screens as women. And meanwhile, my ass is a bit bigger, can't fit into my jeans. right? I've got this kind of little thing under my chin, and I've got a little bit of, you know, swings happening here, and I'm going, right, I'm going to eat the carrot because that's going to make me lose weight. It will not do that. It will do the absolute opposite, because we're constantly in fight and flight. We're constantly trying to find the answer. And if we can just be still and just to sink into the possibilities that we are all-encompassing beings, that the answer is just us, and nature is the solution of us.
Yeah.
And the beauty, oh my God, the way you feel, the way you glow. I mean, my skin is glowing. This is like from the inside out. Your skin is glowing. You've always glowed, honey. Like, you get it. And it's not about being a dairy meat eater. Who gives a shit? If you want to eat animal flesh, choose it wisely. Don't have it 3 times a day. We're proving that in science. This is not about being a vegetarian or a vegan or a raw foodist or a this or a paleo or a keto. It cannot work that way. We must satiate and have a direct understanding of the brain, the 3 brains, which is the brain, the heart brain, and the gut brain. And when we channel the 3 together and we feed ourselves with nature and foods that we love and adore, oh my God, you are winning. You are the divine. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It's very
and I think some people need to give themselves the time and space to fall back in love with it, or maybe fall in love with it for the first time. Maybe, you know, they didn't have, you know, get started out right, and so therefore their palates, their bodies are not used to craving and enjoying whole food. So it is different flavors and different textures, but at the end of the day, you're a human being. You're designed to eat it. You will fall in love with it if you give yourself the opportunity, and if you are able to, you know, detox from some of those things that are just getting us addicted to the wrong things. Because this is the common sense that I think about, Cynthia, is, and this is and Cynthia and I by no means are shaming and judging, and definitely do not shame and judge yourself. It's a pointless activity to do that, right? We really just want to help you as well as ourselves continue to move forward to the best choices that we can in each given moment, right? And that's never going to be perfect. But I just even think about, okay, and I do eat junk food sometimes, so I'm certainly not perfect, but let's just take Coke, for example. If we actually put the individual ingredients out on the table of what goes into that, none of which that I'm aware of are actually any whole food ingredients, but would you get a spoon and eat any of those individual, you know, chemical ingredients? You just wouldn't. And so when you start connecting to what actually is in these different foods compared to whole food, intuitively, spiritually, I think even just, you know, with your wisdom, you're going to be drawn to whole food, right? When you actually just start thinking about what's in this stuff.
Yeah. And the one thing about Coca-Cola, I mean, let's go back to that, right? Not cocaine, Coca-Cola. Probably the same.
Are you advocating one and not the other? Or no, just kidding.
Really, no. If we all us women right now and men that are online right now, if we all just kind of got up and was invited into the Coca-Cola headquarters and sat with the marketing team, there would be not for one fucking minute would they think about Cynthia's organs. They would not for 1 minute think about your organs. They wouldn't. It's not in the best interest to have a surviving and progressive human race when it comes to science. Science is genius. Human beings are genius. Coca-Cola is genius, in my opinion, because it has this incredible ability to do something, just like Red Bull and just like alcohol and just like things. It's genius, and we can't put it down. I did an event at iLab. I'm a mentor there at this place called iLab. It's like an accelerated business program thingy. And this one guy was in the room at 10 guys, and this is a really good example for everybody listening. And I was talking. He was very quiet. I thought, far out, he doesn't really like my message. Oh God, maybe I swear too much. And I was getting really insecure because I do feel the energy of people, just like people feel the energy of me. And I'm in my passion and I'm doing my thing, and everyone's kind of asking me questions, and he's quiet. And at the end, he says to me, "Can I ask a question?" I said, "Yes." He said, I'm really stuck. Like, I love Coke, and I bought all my Coke here because you don't have it here at the place, and I'm going to tip it all out. And I said, "Don't tip it out. Drink it, honor it, leave it alone. Just leave the judgment alone. But understand at some point when you go beyond the addiction of the shitty sugar and the shittiness in that particular drink, when you go beyond it and you go internal, you will make the decision to put it down. In no way and form you should put that down.
You won't need motivation. You won't need anyone telling you. Like, that's,
totally.
yeah.
Diets don't work. Yeah. They just don't. And when
internally driven.
Totally. And so what he did was he went away, and I said, look, keep in touch with me. It wasn't until 3-4 months later, he texted me back. He sent me a photo and he goes, you have no idea how I feel. This is a 48-year-old man that's drunk Coca-Cola his entire life. He's met me. He's fallen in love with himself. He's analysed the 78 organs in his body. He's gone, oh my God, I'm an orchestration intelligence. These wrists have moved 1,000 times and I'm flooding these tubes with Coca-Cola. Now I'm going to rebuild this entire intelligence. I'm going to flood it with water. I'm going to flood it with good thoughts. I'm going to open up my mind to the possibilities of, okay, I'm a human. I live, I journey, I die. How do I want to die? Do I want to live a really, 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 really long life on medication, which is what happens? Or do I want to really, 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 really live a long life on just living? And he just woke up and his whole being has changed because he fell in love with his organs, not because of the food. We've got to put the food aside. We've got to fall in love with the orchestration of intelligence. And that to me is a beautiful story, you know?
I love that. I actually watched something yesterday, which is on my stories if anyone wants to go check it out. It's a little short clip. And he was talking about that internal freedom. And a man came to him and said, how would you stop me smoking? And he said, I wouldn't, because it doesn't work, right? The guilt associated with someone trying to stop you to do something or telling you that it's wrong makes you want to do it more. And so once he was given that release that it's not right or wrong, good or bad, he actually just didn't want to do it anymore because he had the power all along, right, to take the power out of it. And I think, when you have a reason that is so much bigger, you are internally inspired to make good choices. And I think for many of us, Cynthia, and this was my case, and I talk about this all the time, is that once again, it was a crisis that led me to where I am with and why I love healthy eating.
Honey, exactly. Because I know you were not empowered.
Yeah.
You were crippled. I have been crippled, right? I can tell you right now. I am fucking traumatized. I know exactly how you stepped into a business. You were so shy, Kira. You couldn't even, you'd come into my restaurant, you were just this tiny little mouth and click, click with your little high heel shoes on. You know, Rochelle behind you. And I'd be like, are you fucking kidding me? And then all of a sudden, boom, it took a crisis. You woke up. You were actually bullied in a lot of way, and you're bullied by yourself as well. You lost complete faith in the fact that what if the potential, I love the potential. I love forgiveness. I find that really rewarding. You stepped into something that you had no idea how this would play out, right? But you found something inside of you. Now, if you didn't and you continued to eat good food, would have mean shit. Would have mean shit because
I was eating all the right things. I was doing all the right things, but I wasn't radiating like I feel like now with energy.
Exactly. And so I watched you do that. You're drinking the smoothies, you're doing the greens, you're going to the market, you're feeding your family, but you were off here. And that crippled you here. You were constantly going through some trauma with your tummy. You were constantly going through something. You weren't getting the adequate nutrition because you were off here. You had all the right ingredients. You had a beautiful pantry. You had all the things. Didn't mean shit. So you're empowered space, Kira, and what you're delivering to the world. That is the most God's gift part, that when we're in trauma and something's happened to us, even though it's our fault, doesn't matter. Right? We rebuild and we step into a business and we take fucking control. And that's the thing, without hurting people or putting people down, right? We step in and we take that part. And once we start to understand what that feels like, and we still eat the same beautiful whole food, this all becomes connection of the three brains: the brain, the heart brain, and the gut brain. And that's how our microbiome actually supports our immune system. Because if we're off here, doesn't mean you could eat a McDonald's burger and you could have a green smoothie. It wouldn't mean shit. You know?
It's where they talk about all the old Italian men that smoke every day and eat salami and drink red wine, and they're healthy and abundant and, you know, a little chubby, but, you know, they living their best life because they're happy. They don't have the stress hormones flooding their system every day.
Totally. And we're constantly in fight and flight, and we're constantly in blame as well. That's another big one. Like I watched you in blame. I've watched me in blame, you know, and I've watched, you know, other people in my life.
I think women are particularly good at it.
Very, very good at it. And so are men too, but they don't express it like we do. So we as humans, I always say there's three parts of us. There's fight and flight, there's the ease, and there's threat. We cannot just be one. And with fight and flight means something's chasing us, coming to murder us. Our body goes into this stress thing. It starts to hold energy we call cellulite or fat, and it gives us the opportunity to just wait just in case. Yeah. Now, that's the same as a home loan. That's the same as a car repayment. That's the same as self-doubt. That's the same as no self-love. That's the same as what if I fail? That's the same, I don't want to begin again, I'm too scared. That's the same as, oh my God, what if this happens to me again? That is the same fucking vibe. And so when we have threat, it's a very different vibe. And then we have ease, it's a very different vibe. But we cannot be in ease all the time. Yeah. We have to understand the three facets of a human being. And that drives all nutrition to all the right places. Mm-hmm. So in saying that, a fight and flight, someone's chasing me and killing me, that stress is there, then it's gone. A home loan or a self-doubt in a business, or self-doubt, can I do it? Or self-doubt, oh my God, I don't know if I could, would anyone listen to me? Would they buy my product? I just don't know how to show up. Or if I showed up like she did, I can make it like her. Doesn't work that way. We have to completely channel, like I'm talking to you now as just Cynthia as I would at home. This is not like some fucking showpiece, dude.
This is who she is, everyone. This is why I love her so much.
You get that, you channel that into your head. I've had so much self-doubt, and just recently too, like it's just like, it's crippling. And when you jump out of that and you see yourself, you go, I can do anything.
Yeah.
I can do anything. It's just like, okay, all right.
So how do you, because we all have self-doubt and, I've come a long way and I know how to realign myself pretty quickly, but I still have the inner bitch every day. I still have I'm just mastering it, learning to master it better and better over time. For me, meditation and just that inner pause to just realign and remember my truth. And once you've remembered your truth, you can get yourself back there because you are an unlimited being. It's a fucking miracle that you're even on this planet. Like you said, your wrists are moving, you're breathing without thinking it. Like it's a miracle, as if you aren't worthy and deserving and whole as you are, right? How do you realign and ground yourself when you're having all of the self-doubt and, you're feeling challenged?
That's so interesting, actually. Trauma is interesting. Self-doubt is interesting. I have more trauma than self-doubt. Okay, one big thing with Cynthia, I don't trust. That's a big one with me. So my job on the planet right now for me is to understand all the way back, because I'm nearly 50, right? All the way back to where that trust comes from. Because that not trusting affects other human beings.
Can you believe that she's nearly 50, guys, by the way? This is whole food.
It affects all my work. It affects my recipe. Oh, I don't think I can bake. Oh, I don't think I can bake bread. I'm not a baker. My girlfriend's a pastry chef. You've got to measure everything. There's this trust. I must trust myself. And when I trust myself, I'm on here today. Look at me. I'm in my complete trust. I'm filming today. This is very clear for me what I'm doing. But the trauma before that comes in, that washes my trust away, is just simply insecurities for me. I'm only talking about myself. And also the founding cellular level of my trauma, all in there. It's all in there. It's in there. And I'm like, wow. And to wake up the broken, right? To wake up the broken bits that we have is a journey in its own, and I do it every second of the day. Mm-hmm. I just refocus my energy on my heart, and I refocus on my energy on the abundance around me, and that takes so much goddamn skill. And I might do it for like 1 second, Kira. 1 second, then I'm back in the negativity. And then I'm back again.
Because there's so much well-being happening around you in the moment of you feeling, not in a good state. And, even on my walk this morning, I had a bit of stress, on my mind. and I felt really heavy in that. And then it's snapping yourself out of it and realizing that I'm just creating a story in my head. Because the minute I actually become present, that stress is gone. There's not even anything really happening. And then, there's just so many good, right things happening in my world I could focus on instead. But you know what I want to say about trust? I read something the other day that really hit home for me because, recently something happened where I've had a huge trust broken. And I'm not sure that I'll ever trust like I used to trust. Like, it's going to take a lot for me to get there. And I read something the other day that said, trust is broken so you can learn to trust yourself. And this year, I've never trusted myself as much as I trust myself now. I've never felt my strength the way I do now. And also it's helped me to reconfirm what my integrity rules are and what's important to me. And it's been a beautiful gift. It's been the most incredible gift. And I think, if any of you are feeling challenged around, broken trust or, that's your trauma, like, choose to see the gift in it, because how it's shaping you into your best version. Like, I really wouldn't take it back, because I've never been living so happy and so in alignment, and I've never known myself as much as I do now. And I would hate to go backwards from that, which means that I can't undo what's been done. I can't even desire to undo what's been done, because I wouldn't be where I am today.
Yeah. And that's the, oh man, like, oh, Kira. Like, far out.
It's always going to get real with us. You guys should see what happens when we're like, well, no, we don't cry all the time. It's just very real when we're hanging out, isn't it? Lots of swearing, lots of laughing.
Yeah, so fascinating. Yeah, it's just, God, like, I know exactly why I don't trust, Like, I grew up in Papua New Guinea. I felt threatened all the time.
Right.
I was over my shoulder all the time. My ex-partner, you knew Rick, was a drug addict, Kira, like 75 tablets a day of pharmaceuticals because he was so broken. And I'm just learning now at this age, I'm nearly 50, for God's sake. It's like, this has to stop.
Yeah.
You must stop. You can't change or transform, Cynthia. You must understand why. And this is the big one for all of you that are watching. Why are you carrying so much bad behavior? Why do you project onto other people? Why? And go back into the understanding of, why does Cynthia not trust? Why did Kira go through that? Stay there. Forget about transformation and change. Unless you understand it, you will not be able to change. And that's the work I've been doing for the last 5 weeks is really, the breath work I did a couple of weeks ago was insanity, absolute insanity for me. Like, and then I had a healing last night, and I'm constantly looking on a cellular level of the behavior, not trying to change or transform. That's too much pressure. That's trying to lose weight. For someone to tell you you need help and you need to transform is a disgusting thing to say to someone. And I've said that to people before too. It's not right. So for us as humans, we must understand the behavior, and we must sink into it and just go, why? Okay, all right, now I'm going to really step into the feeling of, that's actually who I am. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to bullshit my way out of this some fucking how. I don't know how, but I'm going to. And I'm going to do my best to show up for me only. Because when I show up for me, Kira, oh my gosh, the partner comes, the money comes, yes. The children are feeling better in their bodies. The bills are being paid. The money is constantly coming in, no matter what you're selling or what you're doing. Because we stay centered in that ability and that understanding of the pain and the distrust and the behavior. Yeah. So yeah, it's really. And
your vibe attracts, everything to you. So if you're constantly in this inner chaos, then everything, the world around you is going to feel chaotic, and you're going to attract people with chaotic energy. And I find, the more that I am really just embracing the peaceful, more graceful, more abundant feelings within me, the more, you know, that is just attracting into my life. And it's such a beautiful, freeing feeling.
To be successful, for me personally, and you all have, everyone that's watching, you have your own success radar. Success for me is evolution. And I love making money. Oh, yeah. Oh, okay, let's be honest. I'm a bit of a tight ass. I make wrong financial decisions. You know, I've got a little tiny small home and I should really have a big one. And I do these stupid shit things, right? Or whatever I might do. But success for me is evolution. I don't know how to evolve unless I understand Cynthia. How do I understand Cynthia? Go to all the therapies and everything? No. I sit very quietly and then I have one person or two people to counsel with, and I've got a beautiful man that I've been working with called Michael Adamides, and it really is a very fascinating job to understand Cynthia, because Cynthia is many parts. She's a mum, she's a businesswoman, she's a chef, she loves doing, you know, things, you know, going to the beach and traveling and love just, you know, being enchanted by certain things about. She's also grumpy, she's also moody, especially when she gets a period. Look out, 10 days out, woohoo. She's also violent, you know, in my energy. I also can be, you know, controlling at times. And I also can have a lot of self-doubt in other people. So
let us know in the comments if you can resonate with that, because, you know, I believe we all have all parts, right? So we've all got those parts in us. And when you normalize that, that's part of the process.
Finally, normalize the miracle of what you are.
Yeah.
And when you're in a partnership,
they all serve us. Those parts serve you. Sometimes you need to be violent in your nature. Sometimes you need to be controlling.
It's not an excuse for bad behavior. That's the one that I've understood.
Yes.
And that's where I'm at, right? Yeah, sure, that's who you are, Cynthia. You've survived all this time, and thank God you've got the shield and sword, and you're the warrior woman, and put the fucking tiara and wand back on. No. I get it, but it doesn't justify bad behavior. Yes. And for me, it's behavior. Where does that come from? I had no boundaries as a child. Absolutely none. None. So what does that mean? So how do I go through that? So now look behind me, you've got all the food, you've got all the things, you've got the chef jacket on, you're doing all the things. Don't mean shit if you don't get this right. Mm-hmm. And so the journey, the word empowered or whatever the words are, we must sit down, be still, and just get counsel from someone you trust, mm-hmm. and just go deep into all the stuff. And don't put so much pressure on yourself to change and transform. Just simply understand. Yeah. And from there, we can rebuild. I love
what you said. Evolution is success to you, and it's so true. You know, transformation is not an overnight job, and it's not even a destination. No. Your evolution will happen throughout your lifetime. And, you know, if you do have trauma or you are in, you know, like I used to just have this negative self-doubt spiral that really was controlling my life a lot.
I used to watch you all the time.
Yeah. Honestly, when I first started doing cooking demonstrations, Adam would make me do them at the gym. He would just dread the couple of days leading into that, because my self-doubt would just spiral out of control. Why am I doing this? Why did I say yes to this? It's so much pressure. Now, I mean, like, that just wouldn't even come into my mind. That's how much I've grown. But, you know, it's too painful not to do the work, not to evolve over time and put that effort in to come to understand myself better. Yeah. You know, so I think a lot of people are like, oh, but there's so many things on my plate and I'll meditate tomorrow and all of those things. But I promise you, like, I feel like I've been holding my breath for years and I can finally breathe. Like, it's just been the most exhilarating process.
Yeah, it's so interesting. I used to watch you, you know, like I remember you did your first cooking demo. I was there. I think I did one after you. I can't remember what it was on that little table. I think I made sanchoy bao from quinoa and chickpeas. I don't know, something. And I just remember you're just this broken sparrow, you know, and yeah, look at you now. And that's not transformation, honey. That ain't change. That is the same as the wellness industry telling us to eat this because it has vitamin C, this has more protein, go keto, go paleo, don't do that, don't have vitamins, have vitamins, don't have nutritional supplements. We have to just stop.
So fucking confusing, isn't it?
So confusing. it's so confusing, and we really must ask ourselves, are we worth taking care of? And for me, it's mindset. It is not food. I have really come through some really deep worrying times in my life, and it's mindset. And I'm shocked where I put my attention, to be honest. I'm really shocked of how I put my attention on certain things that don't serve me. And now it's like time. It's like no more.
Yeah.
No more. And we have hurt, me and you, you've hurt your partner through this behaviour. I know I've hurt mine, my ex-partner through this behaviour as well. But it's enough. It's like, okay, are we willing? Like if you think about Rick, right, my ex, I was so angry and so judgmental and so frustrated, but it wasn't him, it was me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's really fascinating how that we must, as human beings, just sink into the space of really understanding our trauma and our behaviours and let us off the hook for a minute. Change and transformation, go sit on the fucking shelf with the lentils.
Yeah.
Not cooking the lentils this month. Just stay in the evolution of understanding the behaviour and understanding that. And I think for us women, it's going to let us off the hook a bit instead of trying to grab the green smoothie or trying to grab the next, thing to fix us up. It doesn't work like that,
Yeah. I think for some, maybe that's, the bit they feel like they can control. And that's why there's such an emphasis on it, rather than doing the inner work.
One thing I've been really kind of annoyed with lately, consciousness. Everyone says, oh, you're really conscious and make a really conscious.
I cringe when someone says that to me because it makes you sound like such a wanker.
I'm so conscious. You got no idea. I've been working through this so consciously. It's like a fucking murderer's conscious, mate. Like, every decision I've ever made has come from consciousness, whether it's bad behaviour, whether it's a great financial decision, a bad one. It's all done through Cynthia.
Yeah.
Anybody I've ever listened to outside of my arena or whatever that might be, it's my doing.
Yeah.
Trust. If we don't believe in ourselves and have trust in ourselves, how do we then get out of the arena and eat all the food and do all the transformation? It doesn't work that way. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's really, really fascinating.
Yeah, I like expansion is because I'm constantly wanting to expand myself. But yeah, I have the same thoughts around that. So we know that it's important for your energy to be in alignment, number one, and no amount of green smoothies is going to transform your life if you're not doing that work, for sure. However, if you were to give a few tips around, okay, you're doing the inner work, number one, the most important work to start with. But if you were going to make or share some really easy tips around nourishment for the women watching, because I think it is important to feed our brains too. I mean, if you're not nourishing your brain, it can't make the happy hormones and things in balance. So what tips can you give around food that you've learned? Because you teach a lot of people who come to you really sick and, probably not at all passionate about whole food the way we are in the moment that you meet them. How do you meet them where they're at? What tips do you give them to create change with ease, grace and flow, stress-free change?
Yeah, it's first of all the judgment they have on themselves. Like, you don't understand. My husband eats a lot of meat. I can't be vegetarian. No one's wanting you to be vegetarian, honey.
Yeah, get rid of the labels is one of my tips. Don't label yourself anything.
Let's talk about what you love, and let's have a deep understanding of the internal. And then from there, there's this. Oh, okay, I don't feel so pressured right now. I don't have to cook this way or buy these ingredients and get to work. And then I go through a process of, okay. So you really love to eat fish. Great. What do you love it with? Salad. Fantastic. Do you make the dressing? No. Boom. Let's make the dressing. Do you what sort of fish do you buy? Salmon. Okay, let's talk about salmon and the salmon industry and how salmon has a place on the planet that has a detrimental environmental effects on the bottom of the ocean, farm salmon. And then we go through this process and it's like they look at me and they go, I didn't know that, but the Heart Foundation tells me that salmon is good. Mm-hmm. Absolutely, salmon has omegas in it, but it doesn't have it when it's farmed, because salmon swims down in the ocean and it swims around and it gets into the microalgae and it builds those omegas in its flesh, and then we eat that. When you have farmed salmon, it's this process of medication, antibiotics, more medication, colouring, hormone growth, pellets. There's no microalgae. So we have to add those 3, 6, 9 in. We're compromising the human body. We're compromising the bottom of the ocean. We're compromising the sustainability of actually farming that way. It's not sustainable for the human race, let alone the fish. And so I take them through this beautiful process and they go, oh, I never know that. So I can still eat fish. I'm like, eat what you want. Eat what you want. But do your best to understand the journey of the fish. Yeah. Take a plant, for instance, a carrot. What about the seed? What about the soil? What about the microbes in the soil, the layers of microbiology in the soil? What about the sun? What about the rain? What about all the things? And then we spray the shit out of it with herbicides, fungicides, and pesticides. And we don't know that the chemical effect on a human being, let alone the planet, let alone the plant, let alone the worms in the thing, all compound into the human existence. And so that's how I teach. I take people through that, but I really do take them through a part, and this is a very important part, is are you worth taking care of, and what does that look like with 3 kids, a 12-hour job, a husband that's away a lot or not away a lot that's working as well, car loans, car repayments, credit card bills, school fees, clothing, our own makeup and hair and all the things that we love to do. How do we actually do that in a sound environment without the pressure of the wellness industry telling us that we should have that because it has this, this, and this in it. And that's the ease that they get from me. And it's like, it's so beautiful. It is so beautiful to teach and to watch that, because they go, oh my God, I've never met a chef like you. And I'm like, I'm not just a chef, I'm Cynthia. And Cynthia is all things. And like I said, cranky, mad, violent, happy, loving, forgiving, joyful, moody, self-doubt, like we are all things. And it's just the behavior that we must work on. That's it. Yeah.
Absolutely. Oh, well, I think that's a really beautiful place to end there. And, I think that's why you're so relatable to so many people. And, I know that when you're in your space, you just feel at home and at ease with you, as well as inspired. And, it's a very beautiful place to be.
One more thing to add, Kira. When I'm off, I don't cook.
Yeah.
Don't come down
here.
Yeah,
same actually. Yeah.
I haven't been down here in 6 weeks, mate.
Mm-hmm.
When I'm off.
How are you feeling today?
Yeah, I'm feeling really good today. Today I've had a bit of I've had a big weekend. I've had a lot to think about, and I've stepped into my power. And my power means, okay, understanding that I didn't trust myself. That's my power. And now I'm understanding, okay, when you didn't trust yourself, you have bad behaviours, and now we have to actually really deeply understand that, not change or transform, just understand. But when you're off here, please don't cook. Though when I am off here, I don't go for junk. Junk and food aren't relatable to me. They're very different. Yeah. And so I still have the value system around whole real food. Still doesn't mean shit when I'm off.
Yeah.
And this is, I'm qualified to say it because I have been covered in shingles. I have got some serious health problems in the past, and I'm qualified to teach this because no matter how much beautiful, amazing plant food and whole food I ate, Kira, it didn't mean shit because I was off here. And so if everyone can just grab that and forget the ingredients and forget the recipe and forget the online cooking classes and forget everything, just really, and sometimes we need help to get there.
Yeah, I think most of us do. It's funny, if anyone follows me, you'll notice there's been a lot more kitchen stuff happening on my channels lately, and it's because I feel good again and I'm back in the kitchen doing the things that I love. And I'm in a good place if I'm pumping out lots of content and doing what I love.
And I'm right behind you, honey. I'm right behind you. It's like, all right, come on, let's go. I know you, Cynthia. I know you. I know you. Okay.
You get to a place when you've done a bit of work and you've expanded yourself, and when you're not in alignment. And I think it's okay to be in a dark place and spend some time there processing it. I think you don't have to immediately jump back to realigning yourself. Sometimes you have to just actually feel what you need to feel. But you get to a point where you're just like, okay, I'm ready to get back to the light now. And Well, thank you so much for your time. You have to go over and read the comments over on Facebook. Everyone's like, this is not what I was expecting. It's so much better. So it's awesome. I love what way you took this, and I could not agree more with you. I'm just going to remind everyone, I just want to share Cynthia's magic and, help as many women as possible. So I'm going to run this competition again. So if you share the live on Facebook, as well as share something on your Instagram or on your Instagram story, tag Cynthia Louise. Is it Chef Cynthia Louise or Cynthia Louise on Instagram?
Chef Cynthia Louise and the number 1.
Yeah. And you have to go over and check out her Instagram anyway and see all of the incredible food pictures. You'll be so inspired. It's just mouth-watering. And my Instagram is Kira's Wholesome Kitchen. Thank you so much for your time. And yeah, it was so nice. I just can't wait to come to Bali and play with you in the kitchen. Definitely got that.
We're talking about that, aren't we?
Yes, we need to make that happen. All right, guys, have an amazing week. And yeah, make sure you share some love with Cynthia and what you got out of today as well. Thank you so much, everyone. Bye.